I do that for Thomas all the time. He thinks it's hilarious. All right. Greetings. Welcome to the podcast of Edge Things.
Welcome to another week, Q&A Live. I'm here with William, our chief engineer, and myself.
And
Q&A
who are
support.
you?
RJ.
Oh,
Right.
hello, RJ. Good to meet you. Never seen you before.
Yeah.
You've just been with the company since 2014.
Let's have it.
All right. So what's new? What's new in the news this week?
Yeah, so we just came out with our new release, 1.6, and a lot of you will be excited with new currency, EOS. We have that supported. We also have deep linking, so that means if you open like a Bitcoin link on a browser, that'll open Edge automatically to make your payments, whether it's for Dash or Litecoin, etc. We've also added more support for the different languages. We got Chinese, Korean, French, Vietnamese translations there. We also have Bitrefill. You use Bitrefill.
Yeah,
from time
I
to time,
actually,
right?
since, probably 2 or 3 years now, my cell phone service has been paid for with Bitcoin.
Since back when we're in the old office, too.
That's
I
right.
remember.
Yeah. So what would happen is you go to Bitrefill,
Right.
and you can buy prepaid top-ups. And so I found a phone service that just has prepaid SIM cards. You put them in, and then you buy the top-ups on Bitrefill. So I have been paying for my cell phone service 100% on Bitcoin for at least 3 years now.
Yeah, nice.
And now it's integrated into Edge, so I don't have to leave the app. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
no more going back into Airbits. You can just do that all in Edge.
Yeah, don't have to go online anymore.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know what Bitrefill is, like William said, it's mobile top-ups, but also there's other stuff to buy. You can buy Amazon gift cards, Steam, a lot of other stuff, so check it out. It's in the app.
They only added that stuff recently, actually. They didn't used to have all the gift cards. It was just mobile minutes until like a few months ago. Really.
Right.
So I'm actually super excited to get in on that stuff as well.
Yeah, so now you can really live off of Bitcoin, like
For-
buying the gift cards, but then buying groceries, all on Bitcoin.
Yep.
Okay.
What else did we add?
We added Wire, so now you can buy cryptocurrencies with your bank account. So if you had trouble with Simplex buying with a credit card, try Wire. You can buy with your bank account.
I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super hard. I mean, you can go to an ATM machine, right?
Yeah.
You can make an account on an exchange.
Right.
Or you can use something built in like Wire or Simplex, which we have had before. But I feel like a lot of people had trouble because the credit card companies in this country have been blocking Bitcoin purchases.
They're not friendly at all.
Yeah. So it's not like we can do anything about this. It's not like it's Simplex's fault that you put in your big Bank of America card
Or Chase.
something that's very popular and it just says, nope, we can't send you. And you're like, why? What went wrong? And it's not like we control that.
Yeah, it's
So
not even
it's-
a credit card. It's the banks declining their payment.
Right. But
Yeah.
if it's a bank transfer, like an electronic check, which is what Wire is doing,
Right.
then they don't know that it's being used for crypto. It's not like it's being used to a crypto merchant. So I think it'll actually be better supported. So if you have one of those weird accounts that's not supporting it,
Yeah.
now you have an option that you didn't have before.
Give Wire a try. And not only that, hopefully the next few months, upcoming release will have Cell integrated too. I think that's what a lot of users will be excited about.
Both directions.
Yeah,
Now,
both
that's a big
directions.
deal for us because we all get paid in crypto. We actually
Mm-hmm.
get paid in Bitcoin. And so every month, we got to pay the rent. And the landlord doesn't take Bitcoin yet.
Yeah, not yet. So we got to sell, unfortunately, just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, just to get by. So what else is new, William? Here are the teams over in Miami.
Right. I went to Miami, what was it, last year or the year before? It's a pretty
Right.
cool conference. They haven't sent many pictures. We have a few pictures on Instagram, but not much.
Yeah.
Looks like they're having fun, though.
Yeah,
Looks like
it looks
they're
pretty
having
busy
fun.
at the booth.
Yeah.
If you guys are over there, swing by booth 109. We're giving out swag gear, T-shirts, $3 of Dash, Bitcoin. So swing by.
Meet us in person.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do we got here?
Well, talking about banks that don't like people using crypto.
Yeah.
In this country, if you have a credit card with a bank, they just will decline your purchase. In India, if they see you trying to use your bank with a crypto exchange, apparently now they'll close your account.
Yeah. Not only that, there were screenshots circulating. They got pop-up warnings that if you do any cryptocurrency transactions, they'll just close off your account.
They shut it down entirely.
Yeah. So imagine that, in bank account pop-ups on your mobile device or on the website. Yeah, they're getting pretty strict.
That's hardcore. Why do you suppose the banks in India would care about this? It's not like Bitcoin undermines the banking industry or anything like that. gives
Right.
people more financial freedom, circumvents government regulations.
Capital controls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that stuff would be happening in India. I don't know if you remember the story from a few years ago
Yeah.
when India decided to change their paper money. They had a certain bill,
Right.
and they decided they're going to issue like a new plastic bill or something with higher security
That was
features.
last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so suddenly, if you took the old bill, they get put in prison. Like it was like very illegal.
Yeah, the old bill was made worthless, and it's more troublesome for.
But they didn't print enough of the new bill.
Yeah.
So for like several months, people in India had no money because they couldn't spend the old money.
Right.
And the banks wouldn't change the old money for the new money fast enough.
Right.
So all their cash was useless while,
Yeah.
while they had this huge fiasco.
And then they had the long lines at the ATMs trying to get the new bills.
Yeah,
right?
it was a disaster. So I think the country of India seems like a place that doesn't value the financial freedom for their citizens.
Right,
They like
unfortunately.
to control things, and they like to put the squeeze on their citizens. So for them, Bitcoin is probably a bigger threat than it is for this country.
Right.
Because in this country, our financial system works pretty well. I mean, credit cards basically work. Everybody accepts them.
Yeah.
So the banking system doesn't see much threat, because why would I go through the trouble of pulling out an app and scanning a barcode, and things never work quite right? And,
Yeah.
you know, I've got to go and find an exchange that can convert Bitcoin. It just seems like more work in this country compared to just pull out your credit card, swipe it, and you're done.
Yeah, that would be so much easier though if we could easily do that.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. The
Reliably.
technology's getting there. Apps are getting better. Everything's happening, but it's taking time. Whereas in India, I can see them needing this today.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's why there's more of a threat, more of a crackdown. So I wonder if in this country we'll see more of a crackdown on Bitcoin if it gets more popular and more usable.
Right.
I wonder
Good
about
point.
that. I actually think that that could be a potential future. So the way you prevent that is to build the Bitcoin economy up to the point where they can't shut it down, because they'd be shutting down half of the country.
Yeah, build the infrastructure, have a lot of people using it.
Make
and
it
if
make
they-
it essential to people's life.
Right.
And then it's harder to get rid of it. By then it's too late. Like they can't shut down the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody depends on the internet for everything.
Yeah,
So they
people,
don't.
people would riot if they shut down the internet.
Exactly. So you can't pull, like Egypt shut down the internet, and
Yeah.
that was bad. But here they couldn't even possibly get away with that. So
Yeah.
Bitcoin gets big enough, fast enough, then that's not a problem.
Yeah, just like the marijuana industry becoming legal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Eventually, the
just a matter
people
of time.
the people will win.
Yep.
That's what we have to believe. That yeah.
Let's see, another one. So we have the first Bitcoin exchange hack of the year, New Zealand.
Hacks always
Cryptopia.
keep happening.
It always happens, but people haven't learned their lesson.
No. Here's the lesson.
Yeah.
If you have money on a cryptocurrency exchange where you don't hold the money yourself, you will lose that money. Period. You will lose it. It is not your money, and so something will happen that makes it go away.
Right.
This has happened so many times. It's
Yeah,
not
from
even.
the Mount Gox days, just many times it's
Yeah,
happened.
when was Mount Gox? 2013.
2013?
Yeah.
Yep.
So 5 years later, 6 years, it's still happening.
Yeah. That's where
So-
we have the what is it? The prove your keys.
Yeah. So if you have cryptocurrencies, the best place to keep them is not on an exchange, but in an app where you control them, like such as, for instance, I don't know, do we know of any apps like that?
Something like Edge.
Edge. Yes. Edge Wallet is a great place to keep it. And the other thing that's nice about Edge is we do have the integrated swap function, so you can
Yeah.
actually do your trades. Now, granted, if you're on an exchange, a proper exchange, you can actually set up limit orders where it's like, I'm going to upload my money. I'm going to set that I want to buy this other coin
Yeah,
when
when
it
it goes to
reaches a certain price. So
right.
there's more trading tools there on a real exchange. And if you're actively trading and trying to work the market, I can see there'd be value there.
Right.
But if you're just hodling or spending or maybe occasionally reshuffling your portfolio, I think you can get away with a wallet like Edge.
Right. And if you're, like a high active trader, and you really need to use an exchange, just leave whatever, you're actively trading, what you can afford to lose, not all of it just parked in there, like
Right.
a savings account. You're going to lose it all.
Yeah.
Another thing. Yeah.
Well, let's look at. There's some interesting things about this story, though. A lot of people are now starting to question whether it was a hack at all,
Right. Or inside
because they
job.
just said the money's gone, but they don't say what happened. They don't say how much was taken or
Right.
where it went, or they don't know anything, or they're not saying that they know anything.
Yeah.
So there's always that question: was it truly a hack from an outside entity, or was it an employee within the organization?
Yeah, like an inside job, and they just want to get like the insurance out of it.
I mean, we've all seen the movie Ocean's 11, or maybe you've
Yeah.
seen the movie Ocean's 11. A bunch of criminals get together. They're going to rob the casino for like, what was the number? Like $20 million, $30
That
million?
had to be a really high amount for a casino.
Right. But it wasn't that much money compared to some of these hacks we've seen.
Yeah.
Right? Bitstamp got taken for $50 million a couple of years ago. That's more than whatever was in the Ocean's 11 movie.
Yeah.
And so you see the great lengths they go to. They get this guy who's like an acrobat who can flip over backwards. They get these actors.
All these different backgrounds with different specializations.
They got these guys to go in and pretend to be these different characters within the casino. They got people get hired as like card dealers so that they can pull this elaborate heist.
Yeah.
And I don't know how realistic that is.
Yeah.
But if people are willing to go through that kind of effort to rob a casino in a movie, and you've got a cryptocurrency exchange with hundreds of millions of dollars just sitting there in deposits.
Yeah.
And it's untraceable digital money that they can just take and make it disappear.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder.
You're like,
they'll probably go to greater lengths than the
what
movie.
limits are they going to go to make this happen?
Yeah.
So it's actually amazing to me, not that cryptocurrency exchanges get hacked, but that they don't get hacked.
Right.
Right? Why has Coinbase not been hacked yet? Like,
Yeah.
either they're doing something really good or who knows what's going on, because it just seems like that should be the natural state of affairs. Anytime you have millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in one place,
Right.
that's like the ultimate Ocean's 11 story right there.
Yeah. So they better have a really high-end security holding that much.
All right. Let's see. What's next on our...
Oh, Coinstar will be a fun one to talk about.
Oh, yes.
So this is just like the last couple of days. So Coinstar is a machine, like in common grocery stores, Vons, Ralph's, right? Also, a lot of grocery stores where you can convert your change into like gift cards. Now they added a way to convert it into Bitcoins.
So looking at this story here, I'm not actually sure that the Coinstar machines are capable of doing... So the idea behind the machine is you put in your quarters, your pennies, your dimes, your nickels, and it'll process them all and then give you cash out.
Yes.
And they'll charge a small fee for that, because people in this country, I don't know, our change is so small, right? A penny is like virtually useless. So you end up with just piles of this stuff accumulating in your house, and you dump it in the machine, you get actual money out, and it's useful.
Right.
But if you go for like gift cards, they won't charge you a fee. So if you get cash out, they charge you a fee. If you get gift cards, they don't charge you a fee. I don't think that they have the option to put coins in and get Bitcoin out.
Okay, so not exactly like that.
Right. I don't think it's that. What it looks like they're saying from the people who have gone to these machines is that you can actually push a different button. It takes you through a different workflow where you like buy Bitcoin with cash or with credit card or something.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's like a Bitcoin ATM inside the other machine that also does the coin, but it's not like integrated.
Like
really.
an ATM inside an ATM.
Yeah. So it may not be. Now, we have one of these Coinstar machines,
Like up
5 blocks, 6 blocks that way.
Right.
I haven't gone to it yet.
But we're going to find out.
I'm going to go there later and see what this thing is doing, and hopefully it's there. It looks like from the story, there's a couple states: Washington, California, Arizona, Texas, Illinois, Indiana, that have this. So we're in California, so we have that, and that the company is working on expanding to the other states.
Right.
So it may not be everywhere yet, but it looks like this giant company that's in every single grocery store all over the place with these machines is going to be turning into a Bitcoin ATM company.
And it could create more competition because they have 20,000 machines, but let's just say 25% are, in that testing phase. So then maybe they have, 25% of that, and it looks like they have competition because the ATMs are going to be competing with 4% fees.
Is that what Coinstar is charging?
Yeah, that's what it says on the article. So most Bitcoin ATMs are like 10 to 20% sometimes.
Yeah,
so
downtown San Diego has 2 Bitcoin ATMs, dedicated machines. There's one in like a check cashing place that's like a 12% fee, and then there's another machine in a bar that's like an 8% fee. So if this is 4%, that's going to really undercut those other guys.
Yeah, then the ATMs are going to have to start charging less if they want to compete, because it looks like these Coinstar machines have pretty decent limits too. The article says $2,500 and just a phone number required.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, so watch out.
Although granted, the
Bitcoin
one at the
ATMs.
bar, I don't think they even needed any KYC. It was just scan my barcode and put in dollar bills. So
Right.
So maybe
it's changed. It's been a while.
yeah, who knows? Maybe it could be an older machine too.
Right.
Let's see. What else have we got?
We were talking a little bit about Bitcoin Talk thread. James Bowery, another
Another
Could be
person.
Craig Wright or Satoshi.
So someone's claiming on Bitcoin Talk
Yeah, let's go look
that
for it.
this guy named James Bowery
Is Satoshi.
is Satoshi, and that he sent 10 Bitcoins on January 12th, 2009 to this other guy.
Double spend timestamp.
I don't know who that guy is.
That's the guy that's claiming it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But whoever he is, and he shows a Bitcoin address with a transaction on that date.
But does he own it? So there's still more questions to ask.
Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah,
Yeah.
2009-01-12. So it's an old transaction, but anybody can point to an old transaction and say, "Oh, that's mine."
Yeah, you got to be able.
You got to be able to provide the private keys to that.
Yeah, you got to prove it.
So who knows? Who knows who Satoshi? This is actually one of the greatest things about Bitcoin. Nobody knows who Satoshi is. Everybody claims to be Satoshi or claims that other people are Satoshi, but nobody really knows.
Yeah, at the end of the day, no one knows.
Which is amazing to me because how many people are able to pull a stunt like that, right?
Yeah, to keep a secret.
To keep a secret that well.
Yeah.
That's just incredible. Like if I wanted to keep a secret and go do something, I know I'd screw it up. I'd leave some paper trail.
Yeah.
I mean, Ross Ulbricht, right? The guy who ran the Pirate
Silk
Bay.
Road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Silk Road. Sorry, not the Pirate Bay. Yeah, he did everything right. He had Tor. He was using like public Wi-Fi. He was going to libraries. And they still managed to track him down and arrest him and lock him up.
Yeah, or something about like his first login or first post where he uses like a real name or something. I saw it in a
But
document.
one little slip
one
up's
little
all it
slip
takes,
up,
right? And you
yeah.
end up in prison, which is really sad. I mean, but here, this guy Satoshi, nobody knows who he is, and he hasn't slipped up as far as we know.
Yeah, not only that, he hasn't spent his coins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said to be sitting
Even
on,
during the highs, he didn't
to
care.
be sitting on billions of dollars and not touch it.
Yeah,
It's just incredible. So kudos to you, whoever you are.
yeah. Kudos Satoshi.
So it could be this James Bowery guy, but it's just another theory at this point.
Right. And I'm sure there'll be many more. Many more claims of who could be Satoshi.
Until we know or never know.
Okay,
I hope we never know.
Yeah, same here. Keep it a mystery.
Well, here's the thing. We know who invented Ethereum, right? Vitalik Buterin.
Yeah.
And he's taken his position as Vitalik, and people listen to what he says, and he goes on podcasts, and he writes articles, and he writes blogs, and people take him seriously.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of influence over Ethereum. So it's not as decentralized as it could be because there's a central person running it.
Yeah, that still has influence.
Right. And Craig Wright, he claims to be Satoshi. So he doesn't control anything. So he makes his own currency, Bitcoin SV, and now he's controlling Bitcoin
And
SV.
and he still
It's-
has somewhat of an influence too.
It's-
And he's not
he's-
even the real Satoshi.
Well, I mean, who knows? He may.
Or he-
I don't want to say he's not because we don't know that for
Yeah.
a fact, but it doesn't seem likely.
Right.
But here he is running a currency, and people who believe that he's Satoshi now trust him, and they trust his currency, and he's basically gained this centralized control
Yeah.
over something that was decentralized before.
Right.
So I don't want Satoshi to be discovered because then you have this central figurehead. People are going to start asking, well, what do you want us to do? What should we do about this?
Yeah,
And then
it will
no.
become more centralized
No,
instead
you
of
want less
staying
yeah.
decentralized.
What you want is a cryptocurrency that has like 5 or 6 fiercely competing teams that are all trying to like
Yeah.
control the direction of the coin, right?
Yeah, it's like the miners.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you want. You want fiercely competing miners. You want fiercely competing development teams. You know, with their proposals and their
Yeah.
disagreements, and
The leaders.
that's like the sign of a healthy currency because no one corporation is in charge of that.
Right.
And there's very few coins that would qualify as that.
Yeah.
Bitcoin BTC has a lot of full node implementations.
Mhm.
I don't think they really fight. They just all kind of go along with the same. Well, Bitcoin BTC doesn't change very often.
Right.
Just very, very conservative coin. So there's not much to fight about.
Right.
Bitcoin Cash has a number of full node implementations, and they do fight a lot. So I like to see that sort of drama come up. And
It's healthy in a way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ethereum has Geth,
Yeah.
and it has what's the other one? I know there's at least 2 implementations of Ethereum.
Yeah. Ethereum Classic.
No, not
oh,
but like within Ethereum itself.
Got it.
Yeah. So I should research this more before I open my
Yeah.
mouth. But anyway, there's a number of coins that have multiple implementations. Many of them just have a single implementation. Like EOS has one code base, and that's it. There's no second code base of EOS.
Right.
So the people who maintain the EOS code base have complete control over that currency.
What about Ethereum Classic? What are your thoughts on that one? You know how they had, I think they talked about it last week, they nearly had that 51% attack price didn't even barely nudge down. Yet
Oh.
there was that threat. If that happened in the Bitcoin community, we started to see a lot of panic.
Right.
And I don't think Vitalik is still like a figurehead in
So-
Ethereum Classic, right?
So Bitcoin Cash is what happens when there's multiple people who disagree,
Yeah.
and their disagreement is so hard that they end up going
Splitting.
their own separate
Yeah,
ways, right?
split completely.
So what happened was back in the early days, a centralized, well, not centralized, a smart contract got hacked,
Yeah.
and millions of dollars were stolen.
Right.
And so the Ethereum project decided that this was a big enough problem that they were actually going to hard fork
and go.
to roll back the hack and put the money back where it was supposed to be.
Yes.
A bunch of people disagree that should be possible to reverse transactions. Like once a thing happens on a blockchain, it should be sacrosanct. Code is law. We don't accept.
That's Ethereum Classic.
Right. So those people forked off Ethereum Classic. The coin was like 10% of the value of Ether, or even less, and just kind
Right.
of sat there, and it didn't really do anything. Didn't have like the energy and the enthusiasm.
Didn't have the momentum.
Yeah, it didn't have the momentum. So it just kind of petered out. But it still had value.
Yeah.
So that happens from time to time, and it's not great, but it does.
Right.
The problem is Ethereum is a GPU-based coin.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that anybody can buy a bunch of graphics cards, like the things that you play video games on,
Yeah.
and start mining that coin.
Yeah.
Ethereum's also a graphics card-based coin. So what happens is you have big coins that are 10x the value, like Ethereum, and a little mining pool on Ethereum has 10% maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that's 100% of the Ethereum Classic network.
Yeah. They could just switch over.
Right. So we talk about a 51% attack where you can gain control of a network.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need 5% of the Ethereum network is 51% of Ethereum Classic, right? So this is what happened. Some pool decided to redirect their energy on Bitcoin Classic, take all their GPUs, retarget them,
Yeah. Ethereum Classic.
and just completely destroy that coin and control all the transactions. So they went back in time and rewrote 100 blocks worth of history.
Right.
So what they would do is they would deposit money in exchanges, take out, swap it for Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and then they reverse those transactions. So not only have they've got the Bitcoin, but now they've also got the
And they're
Ethereum
doing like
Classic.
the double spending.
So they're double spending the exchanges and robbing money, and
Yeah.
they, make millions of dollars on a hack like this
Wow.
by taking control of the coin. So what you do not want to do is if you have the same technology as another coin,
Yeah.
like GPUs or ASICs or whatever,
Yeah.
you don't want to be smaller than them.
Yeah.
If you're on a particular technology, whether that be GPU or ASIC or whatever, you want to be the biggest coin using that technology, or you're vulnerable.
Right. Or else you're open to attack
Right.
through that method.
So I know a lot of people still think that GPU mining is great for like decentralization because anybody can go buy a GPU, whereas a miner is like a mining box for a specific coin.
Yeah. It's still, at the end of the day, it still creates that kind of centralization, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what's worse? Is it worse that there's like one company like Bitmain making miners for Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and that's causing centralization because you have to be a dedicated person to go mine Bitcoin?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it worse that this attack can happen to any coin that's using a GPU?
Yeah, because GPUs, you can mine all sorts of different coins.
Right.
It's not like a specific miner for a specific coin.
So unless you're the biggest GPU coin, i.e. Ethereum,
Yeah.
you're going to get 51% attack.
You're going to get
potential.
rocked if they switch
Yeah.
over, basically.
Yeah. So I'd almost rather at this point, having seen like 3 or 4 different coins get destroyed by this hack,
Yeah.
this attack vector, I'd almost rather be an ASIC coin at this point, just because if you have the biggest coin on a particular ASIC technology, that means you're safe, because where all the other ASICs going to come to attack you? They don't exist. If they exist, they're busy mining your coin.
Right.
So that's SHA-256 for Bitcoin, Scrypt for Litecoin,
Yeah, script.
and then what other? The Monero had some ASICs come in. That should have been like they should have celebrated, like, yay, we have ASICs now. Monero's safe. We don't have to worry about Ethereum miners coming in and swamping us.
Switching over to Monero instead of.
But no, the
Ethereum.
Monero developers, I don't know why they did this, decided we're going to resist the ASICs and go back to GPU mining. So it's like now if I wanted 51% Monero, all I have to do is persuade some big Ether miner to go do it, and it's done,
Right.
It's like, no, guys, that's you just made your coin less secure again. Well, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have
Let's see.
anything else? Is that
Let's
it?
see. Upcoming events. So
Oh.
where else are they heading over after Miami?
So apparently we're going to Blockspace's Tampa meetup January 21st.
Okay.
So that's this weekend. So after the Miami
after?
Miami conference this weekend, head over to the Blockspace's Tampa meetup. And then
like-
Atlanta TabConf, February 8th through 10th. Do we know who's going to that one?
Not sure on that one, but I think there's also Acapulco shortly after that one, right?
Right. I don't know the dates or who's going to that one either. I think Paul's the one going to TabConf in Atlanta.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So if you're in any of those places, look us up. We will be there, or some of us will be there.
Yeah,
I don't travel much these days. I have a little 8-month-old, so I stay home
you
a lot and
can
be
be a
daddy.
bit chaotic, so
Yeah.
you gotta do some control.
Yeah. Eventually, my wife's like, you should go out to more of these conferences. I can take care of the baby now. He's like old enough, I can handle it. So I'm like, yes, let's go back out on the road and see more
back in
Bitcoiners.
action.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So until next week, give our app a try. 1.6 is out. Tons of new features. We'll see you guys next week.
Your keys, your coins.
Yep.